Hello, hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Bob. What
What's
is
going on,
going on?
everybody?
How are you doing, sir?
I am good. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty
Oh,
well.
decent, yeah.
Oh, good. All right.
All right, well, we're going to jump in with a few questions, I guess.
Good.
Yeah, man, learning about your life story a little bit, it's so interesting how you kind of pushed your way into the business and so ambitious for so young. So, I guess it's probably safe to say that Mel Blanc is your favorite voice actor.
That's a great question. Probably my most influential, but I don't think he was the best. I think he was brilliant. I think he was
Right.
one of the best actors.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people don't realize is so many of his characters were sped up electronically.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you were to ask him to do Tweety or to do Speedy Gonzales, you'd say, yeah, that's Tweety, but there's something that sounds a little bit different. And when I was a kid, I crashed a recording session and he did Tweety. And I mean, the man was in his 60s and he was smoking and he had emphysema. And I just thought, oh, the poor guy just doesn't have it anymore. And they played it back and I was like, oh, that was good. What'd you guys do? And they said, we sped his voice up. So there were other voice actors like June Foray and Dawes Butler and Paul Frees who did not have their voices technically manipulated that I thought were more vocally versatile. But I thought that Mel was just such an exceptional actor. In fact, his acting skills, I think are up there with the De Niros and the Streeps and the Hanks and the Fondas. I think he is just was just a genius of an actor.
Yeah. Well, who do you think is maybe the best one today if you take yourself out of it?
I would take myself out of it because I'm not that person. Gosh, the thing is when Mel was doing his thing, there weren't that many people doing it. It was kind of easy to say, well, it's either Mel Blanc or June Foray or Dawes Butler or Don Messick. And today there's hundreds. I can tell you some of my top favorites.
Perfect.
I just would never say so-and-so is the best. But, certainly Billy West and Seth MacFarlane is amazing. And Candy Milo and Debbie Derryberry and Jess Harnell and Jeff Bergman. I could go on. Frank Welker. I could go on and on.
Right.
They're just...
Which genre do you want? Animal voices or cartoon voices or anime?
If you want creatures, you're going to get Bradley Baker and Frank Welker,
Yeah.
So if you want brilliant, femme fatale or heroes or action, you've got Vanessa Marshall and Jennifer Hale. I mean, there's so much content today. So it's hard to say, well, who is the best period.
Yeah, for sure.
Anime, there's just so many terrific, Richard Epcar comes to mind. Steve Bloom comes to mind.
Yeah.
Catherine Battistone, look her up. She's brilliant. There's so many really, really talented people out there working today.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So with that, kind of diving into your own voice, you've stated before that you're more comfortable voicing Porky Pig than you are even talking in your own voice. Is there a voice that you don't really like to do that you've done in the past, or do you kind of fall for all of them?
Anything that hurts, if the voice, I don't audition for 90% of the games I see because I just don't want to do anything that's going to cause any vocal strain.
Right.
You might book a really cool character for a game, but then all of a sudden you've killed your voice to the point where you're not even able to do an audition after the session. So I steer away from games that look like there's a lot of yelling. But that's it. I mean, as a voice actor, you wake up in the morning and you have no idea what your day is going to be like. It could be a commercial, it could be a cartoon, it could be a game, could be a promo, could be everything. So the nice thing about it is if you're an actor who gets bored easily, you won't be bored doing voiceover work.
For sure. Well, one of the games you voice a lot for is the Star Wars games. You do I think it's a really good Skywalker that you do.
Absolutely.
You've been playing that for years, even Robot Chicken, some of the cartoons. Were you upset when the new trilogy came about that they passed you up for this Hamill guy?
Oh, no. No. In fact, I've told this story before. When my agent called me to audition for the first game, I turned it down because I said I can't do Mark Hamill. I mean, Mark Hamill's Mark Hamill. And my agent called the producers and politely passed. And she called me back and she said they still want to see you. When I walked into the audition, I said, guys, I don't do Mark Hamill. I just can't. And they said, well, don't do Mark Hamill, do Luke Skywalker. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, let me think about that. And I was never a Star Wars fanatic. I mean, I'd seen the movies, I enjoyed the movies, but I can't tell a Wookiee from a droid. I mean, I'm not that much of a fanboy.
Our Shih Tzu looks like a Wookiee a little bit.
Oh, there you go. All right. Yeah, I had a friend who had a Shih Tzu whose back end looked like a triple. So at least it's science. But the Dara O'Farrell was the producer director, and he handheld me in the personality of Luke. He said my voice was in the timbre of Mark. Okay. I just had to learn what pre-Jedi and post-Jedi really meant, and what it meant in his performance and his mental state. I still to this day need help pronouncing planets and creatures.
I think just about anybody who's not on a set probably needs help with that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, sure. But I also and I've told this story before too, that I when I was hired for it, I said to my agent, before you accept the job, please call Mark's agent to make sure he doesn't want it first, because I just won't take a job away from somebody. And he wasn't interested in doing the character at that time. This is way before they rebooted the films with him. Yeah. So and I just did a Robot Chicken recently where I got to play older Luke, from the last film. So that was a challenge because Mark's voice has changed quite a bit. Oh yeah. So from
it was much more gravelly and
deep. Oh, it's a lot more gravelly and deep. And the Force is with you. Yeah. But actually, it's not that exuberant. But he's very methodical. And that microphone the gain must have been really, really hot because he didn't talk above right here. But it's Robot Chicken, so he goes all over the place.
So you say you didn't really get into Star Wars. Is there anything that you do personally nerd out for or get really excited about?
Well, okay, but okay, I don't nerd out for Star Wars, but I did nerd out when we did the first Robot Chicken and they premiered it at Skywalker Ranch.
Oh, nice.
And we all flew up and got to meet George Lucas, and they screened it in his theater, and we got to do tours of the facility, and we each got a lightsaber as a
wow. Oh, that's awesome.
I don't think you have to be a diehard fan to go, that's cool,
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I'm not a diehard Mickey Mouse fan, but I'd still go to Disney World.
Exactly.
Exactly. I'm not a fanboy. I would never stand in line for an autograph. There's certain celebrities that I've been kind of geeky out on. I mean, years ago I was a grandstand announcer for the Hollywood Christmas Parade. And the first year I got to interview Jimmy Stewart, and one year I got to interview Mickey Rooney, and that sort of thing. I old Hollywood I would geek out on. Current Hollywood, I would say there's a handful of actors that I would like. I would love to do a scene with Tom Hanks or Meryl Streep or Dustin Hoffman or De Niro.
Well, they're getting to be old Hollywood now.
Yeah,
they kind of are. It would have been nice to have worked with Robin Williams. I did a Looney Tunes cartoon with Quentin Tarantino once, and he came into the session with a Fred Flintstone T-shirt, and he was kicking up for us. Nice. He was just up and down like an exuberant fan. I said to him, just want to make sure you realize you're Quentin Tarantino. I mean, I want to make sure you know that. Because you're Pulp Fiction, my friend, okay? You're Quentin Tarantino. He goes, but you're Porky Pig. I said, different league. And about a week or two later, I was at a deli, and I saw him having a meal with this young lady, and he goes, "Oh my God!" And he screamed the whole restaurant, "That's Porky Pig!"
Thanks.
So surreal.
To kind of touch on that a little bit too, is, was there a moment in your career, in your early career, that you finally kind of realized, like, oh, I'm famous?
Oh, I still don't feel that way. I mean, it's interesting. None of us who do voices for cartoons or games had a clue who liked us or watched us other than ratings. We didn't know. I remember the first time I went to San Diego Comic-Con in the 90s, and I'm walking down the exhibit hall and people are like looking at me and talking and looking at me and talking. I thought my fly was open. I didn't know what was going on. And then you realize, oh my God, these people actually know. And then you add social media to that, and we're kind of well known. Now, the nice thing about being a voice actor is, I mean, I've got a lot of very well known on camera celebrity friends, and you go to a restaurant and people watch you. They're not watching for me, they're watching for them. And I'll say to them, does that bother you? And they're like, not really. I mean, if I wouldn't have the lifestyle I've got if it weren't for these people. And that's absolutely true. Yeah. I think anybody who's like, leave me alone, I'm trying to eat, kind of forgets that if they have a really nice house or a nice car, it's because these people like their product.
Yeah. So, is there a reason we have never gotten a Porky Pig Daffy Duck buddy cop movie?
A buddy cop movie?
Yeah, I feel like we're missing out.
I will say that in Looney Tunes cartoons and new Looney Tunes, we did several Porky Daffy cop shorts. So
right, but I feel like a feature length could be made of this.
I enjoy the way you think. My name is not Warner, and I don't have any brothers, so I can't make this happen for you. But let's see. You never know. I mean, there were times in the 30 years I voiced this character where I had some dry years, and then there are some times like right now where I went from the Looney Tunes show to new Looney Tunes to Looney Tunes cartoons.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a 10 to 15 year span. Oh, Duck Dodgers before that. What am I saying? It's been nonstop for 20 years. And then the occasional feature and the occasional, commercial. But I'm just thrilled that they're producing so much product with this franchise.
Yeah. Well, can I ask, did you get cast in the new Space Jam?
Oh, you can ask.
Yeah, well, did you get cast in the new Space Jam?
Oh, you asked again.
I'm good at that.
Yeah, you're very good at
that. Sometimes we like to ask questions.
I wasn't sure if they released that yet.
What's that?
I wasn't sure if they had released the cast yet or not.
I have seen some of the cast members leak some stuff.
Okay.
What I can say, because my name has been associated with a few leaks, is you'll probably hear me somewhere in the film.
Okay. Fair enough.
But you must understand that we sign NDAs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I'm working on a handful of things right now that I can tell you that in a year or two, fans of various franchises and genres are going to go, oh my God. So I just can't talk about them right now.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I didn't look up where it was in the process yet, so I wasn't sure if IMDb had posted the cast listing.
IMDb is nothing but lies and mistakes. Don't use IMDb as your criteria. Half of my career is not on there, and much of my credits on there I never even auditioned for. So IMDb is not accurate.
I like to use research behind the voice actors.
I've been doing research.
Behind the voice actors is kind of cool because we're talking about diehard fans.
Yeah.
Who really do know what they're talking about. So they'll find things I did that I didn't remember, and I'm like, did I do that? And I'll go back and do some research. Oh, by golly, I did. Okay.
I've been researching another person that we're going to interview tomorrow, and she actually one day got a bunch of birthday wishes, and it's not my birthday. Where did you hear it's my birthday? It's on IMDb.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I took my birthday off of Facebook because this is going to sound so kind of cruel and rude and petty, but to get 5,000 happy birthdays from people you don't know, and all you're trying to look for in your email is your audition from your agent.
Yeah.
So I just took it off of there. But I've got listings on IMDb that I never auditioned for, let alone booked, that have gotten me other jobs because people would be like, "We love your work in this. We want you to do the sort of the same thing." I'm like, "Can you give me a clip of that?" Because I don't remember.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So, You've done a lot of video game work. Do you play any games? Do you board games, video games?
Last video game I played and I was really good at it was Ms. Pac-Man.
Hey,
Hey,
that's
there's
still a
nothing wrong
video
with
game.
that.
But I will tell you that I was one of the first customers ever to get Pong.
Nice.
Nice.
And I loved my Pong. I love Breakout, but no, I have never played a video game in my life. I'll tell you, I was at San Diego Comic-Con on a voice actor panel, and I was sandwiched in between Misty Lee and Fred Tatasciore. And people who know voice actors would possibly know their names. They're very, very talented, very successful people. And we made a pact. When questions were being asked of the other, we would be on their IMDb to see who they played. So when they got to me and somebody wanted to ask about Skylander, a game I didn't know I did. And I still don't even know what I played on it. But she found it, and let's call I think it's some character that spun. So let's call it Spinner. And people watching this are going to go, what a geek. He doesn't know the character he played. No, I don't. And let's say it was called Spinner a lot. I'm like, oh, Skylander, she whispers in my ears. Oh, Spinner. Love Spinner. Now, I owe a lot to Keith Farley, who directed me in that, because he brought layers to Spinner that just blew my mind. Oh, the question, can you do it for me? Guys, I got to tell you, it's been so long and I haven't played the game in so long. You guys could probably do it better than I can right now. So here's the deal. When you record a game or a cartoon, it's a moment in your life. It's a 2-hour set. The game comes out 5 years later, and you only read the options that your character plays or does.
Yeah.
I do this character Winter Soldier for the Marvel Universe, and I am asked questions all the time about, hey, in this game or this episode or this or that, I'm like, guys, I don't even know the story. I just read my lines. But I don't want to offend the fans, because they do play the games and they are engaged and they have an affection towards this. I don't want to be rude, but the truth is, I don't know.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
Well, like your that character, you have a bunch of roles that maybe people don't recognize as you, like the squirrel from Emperor's New Groove.
Oh yeah, he's right here. This guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Somebody just sent me that, and because there weren't a lot of Emperor's New Groove toys ever made, so I just found somebody online who sent me that. Yeah, that was a fun character.
Are there more sort of those roles that you didn't realize were as iconic to people and fans that they really are?
Yeah. This guy, No Face from Spirited Away. I had no idea anybody ever saw the film, knew the film.
Oh yeah.
I would go to fan conventions and I would have, my Porky Pigs and my Tweeties, and I would have all the what I thought were the big popular characters that people would want,
Right.
and people would look down and they'd be like, well, do you have No Face? No. Well, do you have your Akira characters? Did you see that? Yes. Well, no, I don't. So because I never watch my work. I take that back. I can't say the word never. I rarely watch my work. I've been watching the Looney Tunes cartoons only because they're so damn good. And I'm not patting myself on the back, because I have nothing to do with the entire production. I can only tell you that the music, the animation, the background, the direction, the timing is superb. Yeah. And I'm watching them. I'm watching those cartoons, and not just the ones I'm in. I'm watching just the pure Bugs Bunny ones. I'm watching the Foghorn Leghorn ones. I'm watching the Elmer ones, because they're just great, entertaining classic Looney Tunes cartoons. But I don't watch my stuff because I'm too picky. I'm picky about my performance. I'm picky about my well, the bottom line is I did it 5 years ago. I can't go back and change it. So why should I torture myself watching and cringing? Oh my God, they used that take. Or here's the other thing people don't realize. When you do a feature film, you don't know the whole story. You only read the part you're in. I only see the lines from the script that I'm in. I have no idea what the whole picture looks like. So now, if you're a celebrity playing a lead, you probably do. But for me, no. So I will critique my performance watching it, because I would have played it differently knowing backstory and knowing exposition. But the director liked what I did, and he kept it, and there's nothing I can do.
Right on.
That's fair enough. So, we've heard before from a few different people that, you don't go back and watch your own stuff. So when you're sitting back to relax for the night, what kind of stuff do you watch? Movies, TV shows, besides,
Yes,
Looney Tunes?
yes, and yes. I mean, I'm a member of the Television Academy. I'm a member of the Motion Picture Academy. So we just completed Emmy season. I watched a lot of TV, because I had to, because I'm an voter. We're going into Oscar season. I'm about to watch a lot of movies because I'm an Oscar voter. But all right, so you asked me what my simple pleasures are?
Yeah, absolutely.
Big Brother, Amazing Race, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I
Right
watch
on.
reality TV. I love reality television.
Well,
you must have loved like 2004 to 2010, like when it was huge.
Yeah. I mean, I've been asked to do it. I'm like, I don't want anyone following me. No. One of the nice things about being a voice actor is that nobody has to know a damn thing about you. So that's but I like eavesdropping on everybody else's life.
Right.
That's kind of fun. I'm good friends with the producer of Big Brother. I have watched every single season, and he has invited me to their season finale for years. And this is the first year in years I've not been able to go because of COVID, and I'm so sad. But I love that show. And an Amazing Race starts, I think, this week or next week, and I'm stoked.
Nice. So we always ask the people we're interviewing, who's an up and coming voice actor that you just absolutely love what they're doing and think they can go the distance?
Well, up and coming is a relative term, because some of the people I'm going to mention have been doing it for a while.
That's fair. Maybe people that don't have as much recognition that probably should have the spotlight shined on them.
Well, I mean, and they might have the spotlight because they deserve it, but Kari Waldron is phenomenal. I mean, she's so talented, and she's as nice as she is talented. Max Mittelman is superb. JP Karliak, outstanding. I will tell you, it's hard to break in. It is really difficult to break in. The people that I work with, I mean, we haven't worked with anybody other than on a Zoom directed session since March. But the people that I am blessed to work with, I learn from them. I mean, I am just so focused on their performance, and I won't just take mental notes. I'll take notes on my script on choices that they made that I thought were so unique and so outside the box that I would never think of, that I will, with love and respect, steal 100% what they did in my next audition or performance. But I am Jeff Bergman. He's been doing Looney Tunes longer than I have. The man's a genius, and he's a pussycat. I mean, he is just a big, lovable teddy bear. If you watch our cartoon president, he is Trump, he is Biden. I mean, he is doing it all, and he's so good, and he's just so deserving. And I wouldn't call him a household name because he's more private. I don't think Jeff does a lot of fan conventions and whatnot, but he's brilliant.
Right. No, you were in I Know That Voice, and I absolutely loved to be able to hear what you guys have to say about the business a little bit, and I think you guys deserve all the recognition in the world, because to me it seems much more difficult to elicit emotion without having the control of as many factors going into it.
Yeah, that's very appreciated. I went to the premiere of that film at the Egyptian in Hollywood, and all of us who were in it were there. June Foray was there, and I am sitting in the audience, and there's James Arnold Taylor in front of me. There's D. Bradley Baker, and just everybody, and I'm watching everybody talk about their process, and I'm learning. And if you'll notice, everybody uses the A word, actor. June Foray used actor. Andrea Romano used actor. Don Pitts used actor. It's all about acting. It's not about your voice. It's not about how many voices you can do. It's not about how many characters you can mimic. And it's not about what you sound like. It's about the script is a skeleton. Your job is to give it a body. And very few people can do that. Tom Hanks talks about how difficult Toy Story was because he so relied on the camera and he so relied on a glance and a look and a moment that to just rely on your voice for that acting to work. But for me to learn from my peers in that documentary, Nolan North. I mean, I'm listening to Nolan talking, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, Jennifer Hale. These are people I'm like, wow, thank you guys for making this documentary, because this is a college course for anybody interested in this business and anybody in it.
For sure.
Yeah, the behind the scenes and stuff for voice acting is always incredibly fascinating, and you know how much you guys have to kind of, well, just like you said, rely on the script. You know, you don't have those other people to work with. A lot of times it's just you and the director, and that's it.
Yeah.
Is there a preference between working in a group recording or working solo for you?
Always prefer to work with a group.
I feel
always, because acting is reacting.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you work on a feature film, you know, like I'll give you an example. When I did The Emperor's New Groove with this little Bucky character, it was me and Mark Dindal, the director. And
yeah.
I don't know who was recorded first, me or Patrick Warburton, but he had to feed each other's lines. And his job was to make sure that our intent matched when they edited the whole thing together. And when you see the film, it sounds like we're in the same room. It sounds like it's just wonderful chemistry. But we're nowhere near each other. In fact, I only met him for the first time at the Annie Awards about 10 years, maybe 20 years after the movie was made. So, so I much prefer acting and reacting with my fellow cast members. But you make a really good point. When you do an audition, you're by yourself, and there are oftentimes just maybe 4 or 5 isolated lines, not even the whole script, just lines with maybe an adjective to let you know, secretive, giddy. Curious, whatever, adventurous. But you as an actor have to decide why. Now, you don't have the whole script there to know the truth. So you have to make it up. So your job as an actor when you're auditioning is to decide, who am I talking to? What is my relationship? And where are we? If that information isn't on the specs for the audition, you make it up. And a good animation actor doesn't care what their choices are. They care that they made them. So if your choices are bold and it lifts the story off the page and it sounds like you're engaged and you're telling a story and you're not just doing a funny voice with a very consistent monotone delivery, even if your choices are wrong, if they're interesting, you'll get a callback. And at the callback, they'll tell you, here's what's really happening in the scene. But your job as an actor is to make the writer's work sound better than they ever thought it could. This is why not many people can do this, because this is hard. Too many people say, oh, I do a great Homer Simpson. Oh my God, I can do a fabulous Archie Bunker. Who cares? Can you take this brand new character, this brand new script, and sound like it's been around forever? That's the hard part.
Yeah, no, I know I suck at acting, so never going to be mine.
You know what? I got to tell you, so did I. I was 2 years in a voiceover class going, this ain't working for me. Then I spent 2 years in an acting class and came back to the voiceover classes because I do think this, guys. I think you're born an actor. I think you're born a singer. I think you're born a dancer. You're born a sculptor. You're born a painter. But what technique does, when you go to class, when you study, it gives you the tools to recreate your talent at will. That's what you need to be able to do and repeat it consistently. So I always knew I had the skills. I just didn't know how to draw upon them and what to do with them. And that's what acting classes did for me.
For sure.
So one of the things, and I know we kind of teased you a little bit with it in the email, that I'm always interested in. Do you have any crazy moments or anything that just stands out when you were recording, whether it's group or by yourself with the director?
God, and I commented back in our emails, I don't know. I do remember there was and I think I have the sound clip on my website. I was doing one of the games as Luke. And the line was, look at the size of that thing. And I got the giggles and I couldn't stop laughing. And then the director couldn't stop laughing. And then I collected myself and I did the take and I could see him laughing in the glass. I'm like, stop! Stop laughing.
I actually listened to that clip on your website, and I was dying right along with you guys.
Yeah, but I don't remember. I mean, I'm going to finish this conversation and think of a million things.
That's the way it always works.
Yeah, of course. It's never usually. Oh, this is not outrageous, but if the advertising people are watching this, I'm sorry, but you sucked. Okay, I'm gonna say that. So T-Mobile did a campaign years ago where anything in pop culture that we know of that would say things like "the end," or "that's all," they would change to "hello." So they found old movies, old TV shows, but they found Porky coming out of the drum saying, "That's all, folks." So instead of saying, "That's all, folks," they wanted Porky to say, "Hello, folks." Okay. So I'm in Los Angeles, in Santa Monica, at a studio. I mean, I can hear the advertising people over the phone. I don't know where they were. And so this advertising guy says to me, now I'm very familiar with this character and this moment at the end of the cartoons when he comes out of the drum. He said, it's 3 stutters, and then he says the line. I said, no, it's actually 4 stutters in the line. He goes, nope. No, I know what I'm talking about. And my engineer in LA pushes the talkback button. He couldn't hear it, but I could. He goes, should I tell him you've done this character before? I said, oh no. I am going to be the nicest human being on the planet. I'm going to do it his way. I'm going to do it wrong, but I'm going to do it his way. And I am going to get a lot of overtime pay.
Man.
A session by contract for a commercial is about 90 minutes. We were 3 hours in. And I said to the engineer, I said, I'm gonna get him off the hook. And I said, I think I get it now. Let me try one for me. And I did it. Right. And by the way, the reason why I was having trouble is because I had to match sync to the picture.
Yeah.
And it wasn't working with the mouth flap. So I did it 4 stutters. And he goes, yes, that's it. Thank you. And I said, well, buddy, it was your direction. I'm so sorry. I'm dense. I just finally got it.
Oh man.
I mean,
you're too nice.
No, I got paid really well. By the way, always be nice. There's a way to know as an actor if you're getting a shit. Can I swear?
Oh yeah, we don't care.
As fucking much as you want.
It's 2 dads, and I don't want to get spanked. So
we're Ohioans.
Are you kidding me? Our kids want nothing to do with us listening to this podcast.
Oh yeah.
Right, so you're normal dads.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. But you guys, I gotta tell you look way too cool to be dad.
Oh shit.
This is all persona.
You stop.
No. My dad didn't have a persona to change into. Okay. my dad was like Leave It to Beaver dad. So I'm just telling you right now, you guys are like too cool. I mean, guitars in the background. This is not dad material. Okay? No, you always be nice. Always be early. Be willing to stay late. Even if you know they're giving you bullshit direction, take it and find a way to say, let me try one for me. It may not work. And you'll get your way. Because if it is the smarter idea or the smarter take, they're going to use it. Let them think it's their idea. Because then they'll bring you back again. They'll hire you again. But I got a lot of overtime.
Well,
that's great.
We like to let the voice actors we interview sort of open up their podcast episode. And so we'll have you do it now and slice it out, throw it at the beginning.
So what do you want me to say?
Just your name, your character, and whichever one you want. As long as it's not like horse. I don't think that would be as recognizable.
There you go.
And you're listening to Two Bad Dads and a Podcast. And
is it Two Dads and a Podcast or Two Dads Podcast?
Two Dads and a podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I have questions for you guys, so don't hang up when I'm done.
Oh, yeah.
No
absolutely.
problem.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob Bergen. You're listening to a couple of dads on a podcast.
Hey, this is Felix, and you've been listening to the Two Dads of the Podcast interview series. For more content, like and subscribe to this channel. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitch, and everywhere podcasts are available. To help us bring you more of these amazing interviews, you can support us on our Patreon. Just follow the links below, and thanks for watching.